Thanks for tuning back in. I'm Tommy Campbell, still bald, still in my basement, and still not opening the airplane door in the middle of a flight. Yeah, that up-in-the-air drama in South Korea is all over the news, just what we needed ahead of a big travel weekend. Like most of us, I drink a lot on planes because I'm bored and a little nervous, and I gotta say, for a world that doesn't trust passengers with more than 3.4 ounces of a single liquid, you sure are eager to sell us $10 12-ounce cans of beer for us to pound all flight long, and then you assume we'll be somehow capable of leading the way out of this complicated-looking door in a proper situation. What a week. Ron DeSantis had a Twitter space that went as well as Tim Scott's microphone and was as loaded as Trump's CNN town hall. Mike Lindell was totally taken off guard by Ron's announcement, and it's just hilarious. We also crowned a new F around and find out champion with the sentencing of Oathkeeper founder Stuart Rhodes, and I'll be getting into that and more, but first, this.
I have never seen more images of more mermaids and water people in my life. That's a division in the kingdom of darkness, and they're highly technologically advanced. And we have to understand what we're dealing with. And we have to understand the rules of engagement in spiritual warfare. And we are meant for hand-to-hand combat. And we are meant to bring our cries before the throne of God, to bring judgment on the rulers of darkness of this world and of this nation.
That was from the Reawaken America conference that was recently held at Trump National Doral, where speakers included Michael Flynn, Eric Trump, Capitol rioters, and pseudoscience anti-vaxxers. And that robot mermaid spewing nut job was Amanda Grace, another so-called prophet who ministers to both people and animals. But we're the ones they call sheep. It is pouring MAGA tears. I mock all the latest and stupid, drop some fun surprises, and more.
People are saying workers moved Mar-a-Lago boxes a day before the DOJ came. I don't see the big deal. It's like when you get rid of the used Kleenex, the old diapers, and the pills before the totally off-the-books foreign hotel maid cleans your room.
This is really cool.
Remember how the Twitter files was supposed to show that it was a super lefty partisan social media site that regularly amplified tweets for candidate Joe Biden, favored liberals, and suppressed the right wing around the world. This was the big thing about the Twitter files, and then the site used the same platform to attempt to host the campaign launch of Ron DeSantis, which only got him as high as the lifts he put in his shoes. Now, the feature of Twitter Spaces is supposed to be that others can chime in with questions and comments. Sounds great. But the only people that spoke were huge supporters, such as former NRA spokeswoman Dana Lash, who praised DeSantis for his stance on the Second Amendment and promised her primary vote. There were heaps of tech fails. I found you cannot join a Twitter space from Twitter on a laptop, and some of Ron's highlights were him talking about how he isn't interested in slogans and entertainment. Yeah, great story. DeSantis keeps saying it was the biggest internet event ever, and MSNBC dropped this great graphic showing he was beaten by a giraffe, AOC Gaming, a watermelon, and a football player in a steamy room. But my favorite in all this was Mike Lindell struggling to grasp what was indeed very big news, or as he says, big newses.
Here, Mike. Yep.
Okay, I kind of surprised you and I got on here before you started talking about products.
You did.
Yeah.
This guy is never ready. Is it because he's going for the Steve Bannon? Like maybe he shed a layer from the suit and dropped that monogrammed hanky, though I know you need it for your MAGA tears.
You had some news today. What's this deal about Elon Musk and Ron, the Trojan horse DeSantis? What's going on?
Yeah, I think they were trying to announce his run for the White House on Twitter Spaces, and the thing crashed.
Well, wait. How do you know they were going to announce he was running?
Because that was the big news today everywhere.
Are you friends with Ron? Did he call you?
No, he did not call me. No.
I love that Tom Selleck's slow cousin is genuinely surprised that this happened and thinks it was some sort of insider info that Brandon had, as if this guy gets hot tips.
Well, then how do you know that you think he might have been announcing, huh?
That was the news story everywhere today, that he was going to go on there. In fact, here it is. Here we go. Here it is right here. This was at Drudge. Ron ready. And then it talks, has a picture of him and Elon Musk. They were going to announce together, and the Twitter Spaces crashed.
Mike says that his site is the most important news place on the internet, but he has no idea what's going on. Ever. Anywhere. No idea.
Oh, so he did announce.
Yeah, he announced with Elon Musk, but the thing crashed and they had to stop and wait for it to come back up.
Okay. So Ron DeSantis announced he's doing what? He's going to try and run for president?
He's going to try to run for president.
It's like explaining to your really drunk friend that the bar is closing and we have to leave, and they're still telling you they can get another drink.
Ron is a Trojan horse from, let's not forget, he's set with Dominion lawyers in collusion to sue people, make it easier to sue people for defamation.
Someone please tell this man the election wasn't stolen, his mustache dye is not fooling anyone, and defamation is still not a real word. Thank you. I see every tip that comes through, from pennies to dollars. They are hugely appreciated and help make this show possible. If you love what I do here and you can afford to help out, throw me a buck with the PayPal link in the pinned comment or drop me a super thanks.
Well, guys, I'm high and crazy. I have intense feelings for my sister, but I can't get there. A booger is loose. Look at my left nostril. Okay? It's there, right? The little crumb thing? That is not CGI. Ron DeSantis wiped snot on a guy at a diner. So I'm owning Ron with this snot rocket. I'm like super dumb. It's due to all the stuff that's gone up there and just totally destroyed the insides of the septum. The thing is, my hand movements are because I'm used to holding a paintbrush to cover my girlfriend, Paul Stanley, in a Bon Jovi wig. In all the makeup that she has, it's actually from my father's stash. Okay?
The whole country. Remember, everybody, I want this to be the most watched event in history. This is what saves our country, everybody. It's called the Election Crime Bureau Summit. You can go to Lindell Events. Brandon, see if that's up yet. LindellEvent.com. That should lead you to the website, LindellEvent.com. Check that out.
Not yet. No, not yet. It says contact domain owner.
This is just too great. Nobody else in the world endures this many problems on air and acts like it's no big deal, while also telling their audience they can invest in their right-wing dumpster fire.
Okay, is it LindellEvents.com? Try that.
All right.
Yeah, they said they'd have it up, but that's fine.
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. We will get that up, everybody, because you're going to see it across billboards across the country.
If these billboards actually do appear across the country, I want to see them. If you ever find one, please post them on my Facebook. You know, back in the day when Lindell was promoting his yard signs, he asked folks to send him pictures of them, and I don't think he got past 3 photos. That's it. Ratbeard Eye Patch 1983 Nintendo villain Big Boss, Oathkeeper's founder Stuart Rhodes was sentenced after being found guilty of seditious conspiracy in connection with the January 6 attack on the U.S. Capitol by plotting to forcefully disrupt the peaceful transfer of power and use force to block Congress from formally certifying President Biden's election victory. Eyepatchy McRightwing Dingleberry is the first January 6 defendant sentenced for this charge, and the large sentence will definitely have Trump filling his diapers, since the growing number of seditious conspiracy prosecutions are a strong indication that the DOJ are building a case against Trump, and it's more than possible that another jury would be willing to convict the main player in the Capitol insurrection, Donald Trump. Audio of Stuart Rhodes has him saying his only regret is that they should have brought rifles, and that having been armed inside the Capitol would have fixed it right then and there. For those not aware about this self-made right-wing pirate, in 1993, former firearms instructor Stuart Rhodes dropped a loaded .22 caliber handgun and it shot him in the face, blinding him in his left eye. So the MAGA Tears, they only come out of one side with this guy. Stuart Rhodes was sentenced to 18 years in prison, and I wonder if the inmates will find creative uses for his empty eye socket.
You all hear at Frank's speech that we're gonna offer stock to the public, and I know all of you are waiting. You bombard us with emails and everything else, and just be patient. And we're gonna get this done because I want all of you to be a part of it. We have a real good plans coming up. We're here at Frank's Speech. We can get your word out even more. And at Lindell TV.
I figured out the name for Lindell stock. It's got to be My Toilet Paper, because wiping your bottom will be all it's good for.
Alex here, still in the bunker with Marjorie again. Good dude. We are still coming to terms with the fact that, like, CNN totally has switched teams. I don't know if they are proper MAGA or this is like the globalists playing 4D chess. So we are keeping an eye on this because you can never be too careful when you're dealing with these Soros, Trudeau, Panda Express people. They are tricky. CNN is now so low in the ratings, they will soon be competing with the great Mike Lindell at the biggest broadcast place ever, and we are heavily invested in his Frank Speech website. In fact, I'm trying to get my Mickey Rourke and the wrestler Leatherface Georgia Gremlin to move her show there, but she has all these, like, big ideas to do these, like, outdoorsy walking and talking stuff, and I have to keep reminding her, hello, is anyone home? People love your crazy hot takes. They will tolerate your face. They will accept your nails on a chalkboard voice, but you cannot expose the interweb to those things you try and pass for feet. You know when you end up in, like, the basement on that old couch you haven't been to in a while, and you're, like, digging around for the remote control, and your fingernails, they come up from the crack, and they're all filled with, like, a smorgasbord of stinky stale crumbs? It is super gross, right? But the thought of cleaning those one by one with my own patriot tongue is a billion times less horrific than the thought of an audience being subjected to skin that looks like the inside of a 7-Eleven microwave after someone tried to zap a beef and bean burrito and hit 10 minutes instead of 1 and cause next level carnage. Because what is the rule, MTG?
The socks stay on.
The socks stay on.
You poor baby. You need so much help. I think it is too late. You are too far gone.
MAGA Tears.
As long as the 2A is preserved and all gun control is abolished, I don't care. He can ride SpaceX as far as I'm concerned.
MAGA Tears.
Bible says from Adam in about 6,000 years, Messiah appears.
MAGA Tears.
I did not know there were so many communist networks in the United States.
MAGA Tears.
Thanks so much for watching. Help me out by joining us in the comments, sharing this video with a friend, and following me on social media. I am a one-man show here, from script to screen, the editing, even the graphics. Please throw me a tip with the easy PayPal link or hit that super thanks button, and be sure to check out my mugs that go great with those MAGA Tears. I am a stand-up comedian. I've played in 35 countries, and I've toured with Jim Jefferies for nearly 10 years. I have 3 albums and a brand new EP from my opening set on Jim's latest Netflix special. You can stream these on Spotify, Apple Music, or catch them on SiriusXM. Thanks for helping me make this show possible. Life's short. Be cool, be kind, take care.